What's up guys, this is Alpha bringing you another YouTube video, and today we're going to be doing a vlog, and I want to talk to you guys about a serious topic. No, this is not extremely serious. However, this is just a not a update video, but it was going to be an update video because I didn't really have anything planned for today, but I felt like making a video on Karma. No, not the pro player Karma, for all you gamers out there who watch my videos normally. Okay, so this is going to be about Karma in general. So there's two things that have happened, kind of recently, some not, but it always ends up working for bad karma in my favor. So I'm not a superstitious person by any means, but this definitely makes me think. It plays mind games. So what do I mean? Well, first off, shooting bodies. How do I feel about in-game trash talk? I don't really care. I think it's a part of the game. Out-of-game trash talk is something different, but in-game trash talk is teabagging, shooting bodies, stuff like that. But one thing I've found is that when you're shooting bodies, you normally lose the map. Or if you trash talk in general before the map or during the match, you normally lose the map. I mean, that's just how it's been for me. I remember watching Clear Enemy. They were playing up against pro players. They were playing against FaZe with Sensor filling in for Enable, I believe. It was a little bit of a different roster. I remember Zuma was the main person on there. I just remember his name. And they were playing his team in the 1K about a week ago, and I was saying in the chat, I'm like, hey, stop trash talking. You're going to lose the map if you do. Sure enough, he goes into game chat, starts trash talking. They get demolished. And I'm like, hey, I was trying to warn them. Now, no, they didn't heed my warning, but that's just reality. And whenever I end up shooting bodies mid-game, we normally lose the match, or it gets really close. So I don't really know why that is. I guess it's just a mind game that when you're shooting bodies, you're like, I'm so much better than the other person, and the other team has something to prove them. So it makes them play that much harder, and you don't play as hard. I guess that's pretty truthful behind that. But another thing is, whenever I make a roster video, it always comes back to haunt me, and we either get released from an organization or teammates drop or something. And it happened once again. It's happened before. I can't really tell you day and time. I can't really tell you what organizations, but this time it was with Clear Enemy. I announced our roster on YouTube, or I announced it on Twitter a week and a half before. Everything was fine. I announced it the last Friday, I think, somewhere last week, and I announced the roster, feeling great about it, felt confident in the roster that we put together. Turn it back around, I think it was Monday of this week, they're like, okay, we're going to be cutting down some teams. Like, deal. He said it in the chat, he said we're going to eliminate 2 teams and only have 2 teams because that's what the sponsors want. Well, that ended up turning bad in our favor, because the moment that he said that, the owner, I mean, Bobby, the moment he said that, I'm like, my team's getting dropped. Because he said, we're looking for pro points, we're looking for age, we're looking for teams that can represent us well. I don't really remember if he said teams that can travel, but I assume that was an influence. And we were the only team that doesn't travel, or right now, we're the only team that doesn't have a lot of pro points, because I'll get into that later. And then we're also the only team that that is really young. I'm 17, the second youngest in the organization outside of this team. Then there's a 15-year-old on their new AM roster, and then the rest of my team is 13, and 14. So we were pretty young. They said that they were going to keep 2 teams. They ended up keeping 3, and I'm like, okay, if you could keep 3, why not just keep us, and we could just represent and then work our way up. I don't know. I wasn't going to argue it. I'm like, okay, I understand why you let us go. I just don't understand why sponsors wanted you to keep 2, and you kept 3 and dropped us, when I was so confident that I feel that we could still, without having a week's worth of practice, beat any one of their teams. Not easily. It's going to be a competition, but I mean, that's just how I felt. And I still feel now. But that's another time and day for that. But either way, my point is, whenever I make a roster video, it always comes back that we end up getting dropped. Okay? So karma is everywhere around for me. Whether it's shooting bodies in game, or whether it's trash talking, or whether it's making a roster video and getting dropped. It's always there, and it's so bad. And it also happens in school. So when I'm feeling super stoked about a test, I'm studying a ton, I'm like, I know this, I got this. Get to the test, mind goes blank. When I'm before the test, because like half the time I don't study. When I don't study, I'm like, I'm really not prepared for this. I go in and ace it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but that's just how it works. So I want to know your opinions on it. What happens when you shoot bodies? Or what happens when you don't study? When you don't study, do you do well on tests? For me, I just do well on tests whenever I don't study, and when I do study, I don't ace it. I don't get a B on it. Okay, so that's just weird. Something that I wanted to talk about for a moment. I didn't have anything else to talk about, so quick recap. Karma's bad. It's never good for me, really. And then we were dropped from Clear Enemy. I don't know the future of what's going to be happening. I know that at this moment in time, Waterboy doesn't know about what's been going on, and I think the other two know. And of course, I was the first to find out. I found out Monday. Tyler found out Wednesday. Ryan found out Tuesday, I think, and that's just how it's been. So, no, Tyler found out Tuesday as well. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. Don't know the future yet, so stay tuned to see all what I do. I have not many options. I can either A, stick with this roster, grind it out, and go into free agency as a team and look for an organization, or play under our own team name, or I can go into free agency alone. I'm debating both of them. Neither one of them sound bad. A, I have a team but don't have an organization. B, I'm old enough to travel if the time comes, and if it came around, let's say next year for Champs, they want to keep a roster together, I'm old enough to do that. I'd love to compete at Champs. It'd be awesome. Am I good enough? I don't think so. So keeping that in mind. So 2 options right now on the table. Don't really know what I'm going to do. We haven't had a week's worth of practice, and we never got a chance to fight for our spot after they told us what's going to be going down. I wish that we had an opportunity to really prove ourselves, like, hey, we may not have this, we may be young, we might not have pro points, we might, they might be immature at sometimes, me too, but I don't feel I'm very immature all the time, but, you know, a lot of things are just different about our team, but I do believe that we have the skill to carry us on and possibly join another organization. The only issue would be age and money. Of course, they're young. They can't get PayPals, which means we can't do tournaments, major tournaments to get pro points. The other teams can, and they do that. We can't. I can't cover everyone with my own money. It's not possible. Maybe for one tournament, that'd be it. But yeah, enough ranting. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed listening to my mouth blabber and blabber and blabber. I might make another video log tomorrow. I don't really know what's going to be going down. Just trying to keep spirits up over the weekend. So I hope you all have enjoyed. Please have a good life, have a good night, have a good bye, and have a good rest of your chicken wing eating day.